Turn that damn roof off!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, as we are going to have a loaded show for you today here on this Thursday. Not only are we going to get to what everyone is talking about and what to watch for, presented by our friends over at Bryant Technologies. We'll also have a vibe check of the chat presented by Basis Health. Have our Alumni Hall question of the day, who our heavy hitter is, presented by HD Roofing and Construction. Do a little what's more likely, presented by BetSaracen, and get into all the discussions and all the hot topics of conversation today. But fellas, Thursday, how we feeling today?
It might as well be Friday for me, man. Like I'm already in weekend mode, kind of. I'm feeling good. We went out to dinner last night. We went to Fayetteville Taco and Tamale, and I ordered the nacho skillet. Just absolutely love that thing. And they brought me the wrong one. Like they brought me a nacho skillet, but the other kind or whatever. And they came over there and they took it back and they brought me the right one. But then they brought me the other one boxed up, and I got to take it home for free. And ever since that, I'm like, man, this kind of thing never happens to me. This is awesome. So it's just chilling in the fridge right now. I love being on here. This show can't end fast enough because it's going to be straight up lunchtime nachos. I can't freaking wait. Nachos put me in a good mood, boys.
I like that. Do you ever get the tamales at Fayetteville Taco and Tamale? Because that's literally all I get every time. And I always get more knowing that I can eat, like you're saying, eat more tamales the next day. Maybe I'm a simpleton, but I get those tamale. I always choose, when it comes down to taco and tamale, I always choose tamale and love those. I might be going down to Arkadelphia this weekend, and there's a family friend who claims that Fayetteville Taco and Tamale are just that whole thing, because there's one in Little Rock. He says they stole his tamale recipe. He's like, my tamales are better. He's like, they stole it, I'm telling you. And maybe he's right. I don't know.
All the drama surrounding all of that. It's kind of same thing with like the cheese dip recipe. The original cheese dip was invented in Arkansas, but everybody has their own saying of what actually happened and who actually made it. But listen, it is a great day. It's been a great day to, obviously have some stuff to talk about from last night and stuff that's happened throughout the day. And we talk a lot of baseball right now because postseason's officially upon us. Arkansas playing tomorrow in the SEC tournament, and basketball, of course, has been a big factor because of transfer portal and all that good stuff, which we'll still continue to talk about. But guys, we're going to talk about some football here to start, because a lot of people, in case you haven't seen it, there was an article on On3.com. Pete Nakos, who sat down with Sam Pittman, Razorback head football coach, as he's getting ready to go to SEC spring meetings happening next week in Destin, Florida. And I had some very interesting quotes, needless to say, that we're going to go and break down and discuss in depth. But it's just amazing how, we sit here and we think about football, which I guess the next step would be SEC spring meetings, but then you have SEC football media days and you have fall camp. It'll be here before we know it. And I think we're all under the understanding that the vibes for football aren't exactly high and haven't really been that high. But we'll go through parts of this article. We'll get to specifics, but I want you guys' reaction to this article by Pete Nakos overall. What did it do for you when it came to your thoughts on the current status of the Razorback football team, program, and upcoming season?
I'm going to rant for just a minute here. I really do try my best to just be measured and objective as possible with this football program, even though I know we're going to kind of get labeled as haters no matter what. Yeah. Cue up the negativity has to stop crowd here, because it's coming. I'm very, very happy with part of that about him feeling better, because that hip was really bothered, man. Nobody should suffer like that. I imagine that impacted things for him personally, on the field, everything. So him being up, moving around, not in pain, walking 2 miles every day, that's great for his physical health, mental health. That's awesome. But the people who are upset about folks like us coming across as negative or whatever, your head coach is negative too often. That is part of the problem here. Like, I'm dying to get excited about this season and this team, but nothing Sam is saying is exuding any confidence. if that makes sense. Like I imagine a lot of coaches feel the exact same way he does about a lot of the issues that he talks about in this article with college football, but they're not doing the woe is me shtick like on every single turn. I appreciate the transparency. I appreciate the honesty, but it kind of becomes a broken record thing at some point. You know, like this is so hard. We're broke. You know, revenue sharing, please come save us. Remy, please come save me. The spring portal window, it isn't fair, even though I rely on it every year. We have a tough schedule. Like, I love you, Sam Pittman. I do, man. I want the best for you. I want you to succeed. I think I've been the least harsh on you of anyone on this program for whatever it's worth. But like you aren't wrong about some of the things you're saying, and I actually don't think you're to blame for all the issues, but you come across like you think people should feel sorry for you when you need to be finding a way to get them to believe and to rally around you. And that's the issue that I have here, because I just don't think he's doing any of that. And no other coach, even if they feel the same way he does, they're not doing that crap. It drives me nuts to hear that. It comes across as excuse after excuse after excuse, man.
Yeah, Curtis, I agree wholeheartedly. I think we're on pretty much the same page here, and I imagine John views it pretty similarly to us as well. My whole thing is I always make fun of fans sometimes because they always want to look for the meaning of stuff. You know, like someone strikes out. Well, what does this mean? You score a touchdown. What does this mean? And I always kind of joke where I'm like, not everything has to mean something. But in the context of this, where you have a very prominent national reporter from On3 writing an article, you have Sam Pittman agreeing to do said article. And my question is, what are we supposed to take away from this? What does this mean? Like, what are you trying to tell us? And look, you know, well, you can read the article. Everyone can, you know, if you have On3, you can go check it out. I may or may not have had to get John to email me the article just so I can read it. Maybe you got to get a friend to do that as well. But I'm like, what message are you trying to send? And I think that's a good point, Curtis, that you're bringing up, where it's like, are we supposed to feel sorry for you? And again, it's not like he's saying things that are incorrect. It's not like, hey, we all understand the context. We get that. But like, are you saying like we shouldn't have this context? Should we change the rules for you? And that's kind of what he hinted at. He's like, I'm gonna hope we can get some new things happening with NIL and all that. And again, it just kind of speaks to what we've said all along, that Arkansas is not on the forefront of this. They're not they're not progressive. They are kind of reactionary with everything they do, and it seems like they're still kind of resistant to the level that college football is heading towards. There's a few quotes I want to read here because they're that I just really don't understand why this happens. So one, he says, I'm obviously for revenue sharing because I think it'll even out. Have we not proven that that's not true? Have we not had conversations? Did Hunter Yurachek, Sam Pittman's athletic director, not come out a week or two ago and say, yeah, revenue sharing, it's this huge issue that we're going to have to face, and so we need to be prepared for that. It's going to put us in a bad spot. He's saying it's a bad thing. And once again, Sam Pittman is like, oh, revenue sharing is going to help us. Your athletic director outright publicly disagrees with you. He also says, I love my job in this team. Everybody in this business is going through the same thing with portal rosters. He goes on to say, we just seem to have the biggest turnover. That's the most difficult part of the job. And then he says, it just seems that it gets magnified in our state. My goal, and this is important. I want everyone to listen close to this statement. My goal is to coach at least through what my contract is. Outright there, your head coach just told you what his goal was, and he had a whole thing talking about his job and what he views and how he feels. None of it said anything about winning. He did not mention winning one time in his entire conversation with Pete Nakos. He did not say, we're going to take steps forward. We're going to be better. We want to raise the expectations. We want to change the standing of Arkansas football. He says his goal is to coach throughout his contract, and then we'll see after that. Again, what we're supposed to take from that? And I'm serious. And I'd love for, maybe Sam could clarify and say, well, I didn't mean that in that way. Like, I do want to win and blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't know what we're supposed to take from that article at all, other than just Sam Pittman doesn't like his current situation. He thinks they're behind the 8 ball, and he's not retiring yet.
Well, I wanted y'all to go first on this because everything y'all said is 100% correct and how I feel. And I knew that if I did it first, I wouldn't shut up because I read this.
I had a lot more to say.
I know. That's what we're going to do because it is aggravating to the fullest. I hate being right sometimes, but it's like, but that's how I feel is I sit here and I'm like, whenever stuff gets thrown out there and discussed, whether it's on our show or on and written, whatever it is, to me, it's always about how how it comes across, how it's looked at, and then if there's opportunities to try to correct course from a coach or whoever, then that's what you do. And here, this didn't do anything for me but solidify what me and you guys and all of us have been talking about, dealing with mediocrity, dealing with the approach of it, dealing with being fine with it, and just continued to pound that point. This didn't change anything. This didn't make it. How does anyone read this and be like, man, I can't wait for football season to get started? What the crap, man? You have very limited opportunities to try to speak to the fans, the ones that are on your rear end, once you've gone. And your approach, I don't care if it's On3, I don't care if it's 24/7, I don't care who it is. Look at it as an opportunity to speak to people. And your approach is this? That's it? Everyone's got opinion, but I'm going to be here for 3 years. Oh, revenue sharing, save us, please, revenue share. This just made me infuriated all over again. I don't know what the point of this is. You know, I listened to I think we all did, the Josh Pate when he talked about Sam Pittman saying there's no identity to the team, and which I fully agree with. There's no identity to anything. What is this identity that you want right here? Like, what are you trying to say? I'm big on the communication. We've talked about the messaging. I'm huge on that. This is awful. It continues to get worse. Like, you feel like the messaging should only get better because there's no games in front of you, so you can't get mad about losing games. You feel like you can only get better from the messaging. The messaging continues to go down the toilet, and I don't know why. I don't understand why this keeps happening, guys, and it's so infuriating and so frustrating, and God, this just pissed me off all over again. That's all I mean, it's just what it is.
I mean, we are, for college football purposes, kind of entering talking season here. Like you said, you have a finite number of opportunities where you can send a message to your fan base. And it baffles me that this wasn't an opportunity. And if you looked at the title of the article and, you know, got to the lead and is talking about his hip and feeling better, I was like, oh man, he might have some bangers in here, you know? No. And instead of, you know, just kind of rallying the troops and, you know, hey, I get it, but we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You know, all we can control is what happens between the lines, and we're going to go be the most prepared, toughest, meanest, hungriest every time we step. You're going to feel us, you know, like whatever coach speak you could throw in there. But nah, man, like instead it was just, it's tough out there when you can't pay players like other teams. And boy, we really thought we were going to be in revenue sharing by now, but we're not. Oh, shucks. Man, I got to talk to agents and families and players. Thank God Remy's here. And it's just like, bro, we're doing this again. I mean, come on, man. It kind of falls on deaf ears. And like I said, I love him, man. And I want him to succeed. I want to be pumped up and excited about this season, but that message ain't getting me there. Sorry. It's just not.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, that's what sucks about this. And because, you know, I think we talked about before we did the show, we were talking about Josh Pate and some of the comments he had about Sam Pittman, where he basically was like, look, love the guy, respect the guy. He's our kind of guy. He's the kind of guy you want to cheer for in this situation. Yeah. But like, reality is reality. And that's kind of where we stand too. Cause like, I know we get this narrative that we're so negative and we hate Sam Pittman. Like, love Sam Pittman. I've never really had, I don't have a personal relationship with him, but everyone who does seems to like him. I have no doubt he's a great man, and I think he's done great things at Arkansas. I really do think there's been times where I'm like that 2021 season, I'm like, man, that's just a great job. I thought he did some good things last year in terms of like the roster and like the fact that they were pretty competitive in some of those games. Like, I really don't think it's as simple as like Sam Pittman's cooked and can't do this job. But again, I think, you know, it comes back, and I see this word mentality coming through a lot, where what your mentality is everything. And I think you can't get someone to believe in you if you don't also believe in yourself, and if you put this kind of stuff out there. And look, I don't think Arkansas is going to stink at football this season because Sam Pittman said these things, but I definitely don't know how we're supposed to be inspired as a fan base hearing stuff like this when you combine it with some of the things we heard in December that didn't come to fruition, how the portal played out, how spring football played out, the negative PR around the Madden situation, which, by the way, he also touched on. I also am stunned that he said he wishes they would do away with the spring portal, He was like, I don't know, why are we doing the spring portal?
That's bailed him out.
You told us the spring portal was going to be the thing that fixed you. Just like you said, revenue sharing was going to be the thing that fixed you. Just like you said, all these different things were going to be the savior of the program. Like, I just feel like, I don't want to say like we're in the excuse making business, but again, I come back to the idea that whether you're the athletic director, the football coach, the basketball coach, whatever, if you're at University of Arkansas and you're in a leadership position, really any SEC school, not just Arkansas, you have to believe in your heart that you are the best coach in the country and you can make this the best program in the country. Of course, that's not realistic, but if that's not what you're aiming for, we are in the wrong business. We are in the wrong sport. Like, this is not, the SEC is not the place you just kind of see if you can get the crumbs that everyone else leaves. Because if you do, you're going to end up in the position that Arkansas is projected to end up this fall. And we'll see how this football season plays out. Of course, Sam Pittman has that opportunity to shut us all up by going out there and winning a ton of football games. And we would love for that to happen. But it just doesn't seem to me, when I hear the AD speak, when I hear the head football coach speak, it doesn't seem like either of those parties believe Arkansas can be at the top of college football. And it doesn't seem like that's high on their list of priorities. And by the way, I don't get that opinion when I listen to Coach Calipari speak. I don't get that opinion whenever I listen to Dave Van Horn speak. Courtney Deifel, who took over an absolute dump of a program, she feels like Arkansas softball should be at the very top in the pinnacle, and she's damn close to getting them there. Jordan Weber, when I hear her speak, she's always talking about how they can be better, what different steps they can take. There's people at this university who believe in Arkansas and believe Arkansas should be on top, and not all of them are right, but I'll be damned if we're just going to sit here and like let these people accept that, you know what I mean, and have people publicly basically admit like, we suck, and here's why we suck. Here's my reasoning for why we suck. I mean, at some point, there has to be those conversations of what are we going to do that's different? The definition of insanity is doing the same things and expecting different results. I don't understand how we're like so content to just accept like, hey, yeah, we're toast and we're just we're going to try our hardest and we're going to see if we can maybe win some games this fall, but it's tough, man.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in a fantasy world. I feel like that sometimes hearing like this article from Pittman, like sometimes I feel like, is he thinking that he's the only one dealing with this in college football, as if it's just, it's only Arkansas that has this stuff? That's what it comes across. Is it something he truly believes, or is it something he's been told? Because that's another thing. We all talk about, we love Sam Pittman and everything, but like, is this all coming from the top as far as his approach and messaging, or is this something on his own that he truly just believes? Because let's just think about what we know about Pittman. I've covered Pittman for, I guess, a combined like 7-8 years now, when he's head coach and obviously the offensive line coach of Arkansas. I've covered it. I've covered him. The one thing that he has always been is just a football coach, but he loves relationships. He's the type of guy that doesn't want anybody to hate him. Like he really wants everyone to like him. He's that guy. He's that type of personality. And so I can't help but think that his own belief and his own culture and his own vision and his own deal comes from somewhere else. It comes from what he's been told, because he's always been an offensive line coach, assistant coach. It's always come down from the head coach. And I just can't help but think over time, this is something that's just been portrayed to him. He's been told by whoever, and maybe he misunderstood the messaging, but he's been told it's like, hey, revenue sharing, that's, hey, well, Pittman, you may need money, but just wait till revenue sharing. Just wait till revenue sharing. Just wait, coach. That's what it comes across as. Like, well, they told me to wait, so I'm just going to say, well, revenue share is going to help us. And it's not, but it's like, he doesn't look at it in his own light. He doesn't, I know he's not having time to look at the breakdowns of the legislature that's about to get passed. I'm not saying that, but it just seems like he's going off of what he's being told by people inside the university. And he's just saying, well, and people are probably like, whether it's your check, whoever, yeah, coach, I know, man, that stinks that you have to deal with these kids that aren't loyal anymore and having to deal with agents and stuff. That's wrong. That's stupid. I hate doing it too. And then he's like, well, yeah, I hate doing it too. It's kind of crappy. This just all seems encompassing where everything's staying afloat. Everyone's going different directions. It's unorganized. It's all over the place. And no one really knows what to fix it. It's more of like everyone's just taking an approach of let's just stay afloat. Let's just keep our jobs. Let's just find something to make this kind of work maybe. And it's weird. It's weird how this approach has been. And I still will not understand why the revenue share has become literally manna from heaven for this program, where they think that as soon as it kicks in, by golly, everyone thinks going to shape up and it's going to even things out. No, it's not. It's not going to even things out. I got fired up by this because I want Arkansas football to do really well. And it's just these types of remarks and comments and discussions. It just irritates me because I just feel like we're taking crazy pills here. I'm just very upset by it, as you can tell. But
we'll wait until next year. Revenue sharing will be in place then, and all will be solved.
That's right. It's true. All the boosters that were given money, they're like, hey, good. We get to save our money. We don't have to give to the program anymore. You know, Johnny T. Tyson's going to be like, hey, Coach Cal, revenue share. I guess you don't need my dollars anymore. You don't need the chicken man anymore. And Cal's going to be like, you bet, sir. Go ahead and save your money up and give it to charity. No, come on. Like, just be reasonable and read the room. Understand the situation you're in. And I think I saw somebody in the chat saying it too. I want you to lie to me and just say, hey, we're doing all we can. I love this team. I feel confident we're going to be better. I feel great about the situation we're in. We'll adjust as things come along. When revenue share happens, we'll adjust. But I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about getting to winning again. Just say stuff like that. I don't think it's that difficult to do. And if you do that, I don't think anyone will believe you. But at least you'll say it. At least you'll think it. But as you mentioned, Curtis, seems like sometimes Pittman's just too honest, and he tells the truth. He's too transparent about stuff. I just couldn't imagine any other coach at Arkansas saying something like this stuff. Like, could you imagine Cal saying stuff like this? Like, what do you guys? You know how much money we make? Revenue share, going to be big. The only way we can compete. Like, he's not going to say that stuff. Just, I want to win. That's what it comes down to. I want to win, but. Either way. Shout out to Pete Nakos, though, because I don't know what all was discussed and who knows what all was put out there, but shout out to him for doing it and putting it together. And who knows, I guess, because have you guys ever been to SEC spring meetings? I don't know if you have or not.
In Destin?
No.
Scotty went that one year.
Yeah. I feel like him and like Trey Schaff from the Buzz would go, but Trey just goes because he wants to golf. He doesn't care about anything. But either way, I just always wondered, like, is it what happens there, if anything cool? But SEC football media days will be probably the next time we get a chance to talk to him. So
the best you could hope for if you go to that is you could catch Hunter Yurachek leaving one meeting to go to another. You could maybe get 3 minutes of quotes from him.
Oh yeah, that's true. Was it Cal? Was it SEC spring meetings that he dropped some sort of news nugget, or am I thinking of something completely different? I think it was when maybe he dropped the one of the games that they were playing, like the Madison Square Garden game or something. I don't know, but yeah, there's not too much to it. So either way,
I'm not sure.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get to a lot of your thoughts, folks, because I know a lot of you had something to say about this whole thing. And we'll do a little vibe check presented by our friends over at Basis Health, where they're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home, where a doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. Basis Health, they are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. You can also check out that little QR code that we have in our graphics now, because I'm just an idiot. And I just was like, hey, let's do this thing called a QR code for all of our great sponsors that can send you straight to their website. You can do that as well. So, but let's go ahead and get into some of your chats. Shout out to our guy Wyatt, also of Radiant Element Medical Spa, which we'll tell you out here in a little bit. But that isn't Claudia Wilkin reviewing revenue sharing as we speak. As that interview came out, isn't that probably why he focused on that given context?
Probably, yeah. I'm sure that's why some of the questions that were asked, and that's why he answered. It's not that he's speaking on it. It's the way that the message is portrayed as it goes out there. Again, he's not wrong about any of the way that he feels here necessarily. But revenue sharing, saving the program has been the message for the better part of a year now. And now it's kind of already being built in again as a stock. Well, we thought we were going to be in revenue sharing already, but we're not. And so here we're waiting on it. And this is why things are so hard. It's again, like, it's not untrue. And there's probably a lot of other coaches who feel the same way, but there's not a lot of them who are out there with just kind of that giving off that woe is me type of vibe about it. A lot of coaches are like, yeah, and they'll just deflect the questions. Yeah. Well, we'll let the judges, and that's above my pay grade. We'll let them handle that, and we'll do what we got to do. But right now I'm worried about coaching this football team. And we're excited about what we have. You know what I mean? It's just, that's the part of it that's irritating to me. It's like I said at the top, I don't disagree with the majority of what he said there, but it's like the same thing over and over and over. And it screams, this is why we stink, instead of, yeah, whatever, here's how we're going to get better. That's the thing for me.
I mean, and look, the reality of it is, in the offseason, when there are 0 games being played, that's when you want your head coach to be building the excitement and doing the whole, hey, we're going to dominate. And then if you lose, maybe you can go into the excuse. But it's like, when you're already in the excuse-making territory in May, it is tough. And by the way, he kept saying everyone's dealing with this, except not everyone has 43 players leave their roster every single season. He says everyone's dealing with this, but to your point, I don't hear other coaches. I don't hear Josh Heupel. I don't hear Lane Kiffin. I don't hear Ryan Day. I don't hear all these guys coming out and being like, yeah, it's just tough, man. It's just tough. And so it is just kind of like, he's okay to feel the way he feels, and he's not wrong. And look, Nick Saban quit his job because of the way this was heading. And so look, if Sam Pittman feels that way, he's like, look, this isn't the college sports that I signed up for. He's been in coaching for 50 years, and it was a very different thing. If he feels that way and he's like, you know what, this just isn't for me, that's perfectly fine. But like, you don't have to be the head coach of the University of Arkansas. And I don't think the University of Arkansas should necessarily be thrilled about having a coach who resents his job that much. And look, again, we love Sam Pittman as a guy. He's well within his rights to feel the way he feels, but I just don't know why the fans need to hear that all the time, and why that needs to be the messaging, especially when there is no other messaging. And the offseason hasn't given us anything else to be excited about. There hasn't been any big additions that are like, oh, can't wait to hear this. There wasn't any buzz coming out of spring practice. And so it's like, if all the fans have is this information, I don't know how fans are supposed to go into the fall and be like, yippee. It's very interesting.
Yeah. This is just the time to, like, you're not losing games. You're not winning games. You get to choose exactly how you direct your excitement and hype. So direct it with excitement and hype, and not more of just like, well, when we start losing this year, you're going to know why. It's like, that's how it feels too. Let's see. Also, JT Hazelwood said he thought my bat was a breadstick. I guess I could see that. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Just started
Olive Garden loaf.
Yep. Just got it from Olive Garden last night and just started chomping on it. So yeah. Our Broken Hog says there's a difference between mentality and what you can achieve between saying, I want to go win as much as possible, and I'm trying to survive this contract. And which is true. Like,
dude, I don't know how you can not be a little bit concerned when your head coach says, my goal is to finish out my contract. Yeah. Like, what? Like, how else are we supposed to interpret that? He didn't say anything about my goal is trying to win as much as I can, and we're going to take this program to the best possible place we can. He's like, I'm not retiring yet. I'm going to coach out the remainder of my deal, and then we'll see what we can do there. Like how the hell are we supposed to interpret that positively?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, I know that he says everyone's got an opinion. Mine's the only one that matters, which is fine. Like, I'm not getting after him for that, but it's kind of like, man, I hope he understands and realizes that fans are very upset. This is about the fans. And this is just me. This is what I would do if I was head coach in that situation. I would say, listen, fans are upset because we haven't won enough games. And you know what? I am too. We haven't won enough games. I want to win more than that. Like, I'm upset. We're upset. We want to be like, those are just those little bitty things right there that could just help you so much.
Right.
Say something like that.
And in a vacuum with that one, I think he was talking about everybody's opinion on whether or not he should have retired, like that part of it, as opposed to winning football games or whatever. And I think if I was reading the quote right, but it is left up to interpretation, like that part right there of everybody has an opinion, but mine's the only one that matters. It's like, dang, dude, I don't know if that's a great PR move for you. But then he was talking about, it was at the same time where he was talking about his hip feeling better, and he's got 3 years left on his contract and all that. So I think that's what it's for. And from that sense of, like, people think that you can't move around and, that you should just be done with it, then he's right, but yeah, I read that and I was like, gosh, dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, and looking at it too, Curtis, like you said, I think it might've been in that context, but here, I'll just read it verbatim, because it says, simply put, Sam Pittman doesn't care what anybody thinks, because it says speculation that he could retire. It says everyone's got an opinion. Mine's the only one that matters. I said, whenever I signed this contract in 2021, I signed for 5 more years. Then we won 7+ games, which was in my contract one time that I could get an extension. So I have 3 years. And I always said I wanted to coach through that obligation. That's what I want to do. After that, I don't know. So yeah, maybe it was just in that particular context. But yeah, it's still kind of one of those things of, yeah, just looks, considering where everybody's already on edge, they just to have that approach to it as well. But also a shot of Hazelwood. He goes, if Alabama can be critical of Kalen DeBoer, if Ohio State can be critical of Ryan Day before the Natty, we have every right to be critical as we want and to be in year 6. Pittman victim mentality is wild.
That's what's wild to me. Ryan Day won a Natty, and people were trying to run him out of town because he lost in Michigan. There are people that still want him fired over there because he lost in Michigan. But nobody's allowed to be frustrated about the situation over here. They're negative Nancy's and haters and program cancers and whatever the hell everybody else wants to call us. So whatever.
Well, and you know what makes me upset, guys, is I actually low key in a somewhat weird way defended Sam Pittman on my Locked On Razorbacks this morning because I felt like he should have been higher than 15th out of 16 coaches in the SEC. And then he does this, and I'm like, you jerk! Like, why you now you make me all mad again? Because to me, it's always been about, if you're talking about coaches. I think it was Colin Cowherd always talked about it this way, and I always thought it was really good. He's said if you're mad about your coach, look in your league, look around your own conference, and decide how many teams you would trade straight up for their coach, and you'll find out exactly where you felt about your coach. And that was my whole point. Is like there's a few coaches I would not trade Pittman for. Like, oh yeah, absolutely easy get. Like, would you trade him for Jeff Lebby? Would you trade him for Mark Stoops? Like, would you trade him for that? No, but it's like, it just makes it really difficult to feel a certain way because there's a lot of coaches that feel like their trajectory is going up, and Arkansas just seems like it's staying afloat pretty much. Let's see. Arkansas Pig Poner 69. Great. Revenue sharing isn't going to stop NIL payments. All it does is give every school $20 million to pay athletes with school revenue. That's all it does. Oh, and it cuts 25,000 scholarships. That's kind of been part of my point too when it comes to the revenue sharing thing, which I understand legally that's the way it is. But I don't know. Have you guys been following college football for the past 50 years? Whenever they put new rules and regulations and cool stuff, did that stop anybody from going outside of the rules to try? I mean, NIL, it's within itself. People pay. It was not intended to be pay for play, but it became that. Like anybody that thinks that the $20.5 million that all these other schools like Texas is going to be like, well, we're just not going to pay for the best players anymore. We're just going to go. No, it's still going to be there. It's just but it is like it's something to make it easier, but still not going to change a whole lot.
College football is never not going to be an arms race. Yeah. That is the goal of college football, is to accumulate as much talent as you can. That's the only way to win a title in college football, is having an elite talent group on your roster. And the only way to get that is to be very rich and to have a lot of money. And so will revenue sharing change that equation? Perhaps a little bit, but you're still going to need a lot of money. You're still going to need to compete with all the big dogs to get that. And I just don't know how you can hear your head coach go out there and cite revenue sharing as something that's going to help you and like feel good about that.
And to your point, at the exact same time, when your athletic director just said what he said about, we actually getting to this 20.5 million or whatever is no guarantee. And if we don't get there, we're not going to be able to compete in the SEC with our peers and everything. So that's not even a guarantee. Maybe the raffle helped if they put it towards that revenue share, but it's.
Are you surprised he didn't reference the raffle?
Man. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. I would have shoot.
I will say also, you know how people, whenever, whether it's like the vaccine or whatever, and people say, do your own research and make your own decision. I encourage fans that are mad at us right now, go back, listen to every single Sam Pittman press conference this offseason, read every article of every quote that he's had, find everything that Sam Pittman said, and really just decide how you feel and see what he said that has turned out to be right. See what he said that he's backtracked already. Hell, he started spring practice saying we're good at receiver. And then 3 weeks later, it's like, well, we need a few more receivers. Like, just watch the press conferences, make up your own mind, and then come back and yell at us.
Yeah. And Chris Sullivan, shout out to him for the super chat. Appreciate it. He says they don't really pursue anyone greater than 3 stars, or am I wrong? You can't win anything with a roster full of 3 stars.
They do have some 4 stars. They get some 4 stars. I mean, they usually get about 4 or 5 a class or whatever. And,
Well, and guys, I know I'm looking at previous years here, but again, if this was something that had been going on for 5 years or whatever, I'd see it. But this is the same coach, same program, same everything that got Drew Sanders out of the transfer portal, that got Landon Jackson, that got Dwight McCluthern, that got Jaden Hazelwood. Like, they got big time players out of the portal for a stretch. Like, one highly coveted. Andrew Armstrong was a highly coveted player. Isaac TeSlaa was a highly coveted player. Like, they did that. Jaquindon Jackson, even, for crying out loud. Like, that was a great get. But I get that, it's like, oh, well, that's tough to get to this point. But it's not like under Pittman, they've never had 5-star, 4-star, big-time players come into this program. It's just not true. They have. And hey, guess what? Those were some of the better years you had, too, when those players were out there. So, let's see. I like this from Hickory Hog. He goes, I see what y'all are doing, tearing us all down with football right now before the Supers and SEC tournament, so you can get us fired up more tomorrow. Woo pig, go round ball sports. Yeah. Well,
I don't remember if I said it on the air or if I just said it to you guys separately, but I pretty much have decided that I'm going to be the football sunshine pumper next season. Like, I was the one that said 5-7 last year, and I wound up being the biggest doubter. And John might be sipping that Kool-Aid by the time we get to our predictions, but if he predicts Arkansas 8-4, I'm predicting 9-3. Like, I'm going one up no matter what.
Here's the thing, Curtis. I would be so on board with that if at any point in any of Pittman's pressers, he would have been like, hey, I know there's a lot going on and college football's changing, but man, I love our squad. I love our team. And, did
man, he was doing so good.
Wait until July, baby.
I know.
Just wait. It's coming.
I know. Well, you know what? I was actually, and here's the thing, Curtis, maybe I'll just troll you and say Arkansas is going 10-2 just to call you on your bluff.
I'll do whatever it takes. And I'll have them going 11-1 with a loss to Missouri.
You're the worst. Like, you're just the worst. But no, like, you know what? I'd actually get excited. I would. I'd start getting pumped up if Sam Pittman just came out in this tone and said, I love coaching this team. He did that. I'd probably say they're going to win one more game on top of it if he just took that approach. But I don't think he's going to have that tone. His tone's pretty monotone, pretty much the same. So, which is fine. Let's see a few more here before we continue on. Where was? Oh, it says Jameson says nothing you could say at this point or do would make you happy. You have made that clear many times. Is this towards us or towards a chatter?
No, it's definitely towards us because this miserable MFer is always complaining every single day. Matter of fact, if you see that comment, I think we should go ahead and get him out of here, man. I'm so sick of that dude. I am so sick of that guy. Every single day he comments and complains about whatever we said. Whatever we say is not going to make you happy. I literally just said 10 seconds ago, I was like, man, if he would have came out and told us that he liked the team, it would change the way I felt. If anyone connected to the football program could tell me anything positive about any player on the roster, I have not, every single conversation I've had with people who cover the team, who work for the team, who are involved, who know anything at all, no one has been like, no, I'm telling you, they're going to be good, and here's why. Everyone's just kind of been like, well, maybe Mike Washington doesn't suck. I don't know. It's like, if anybody, and hell, Sam Pittman's done like 9 press conferences, none of which have said anything about how they want to be a successful football team.
To the point of the specific comment there in this article that we're referencing, I mean, my counter would just be, read the article. I'm not going to tell anybody how to feel however you want to, but read the article, and then come back here and tell us what came out of that makes you feel good about your situation, other than what I led with, that he's feeling better. Like, Sam's feeling better. His hip's good. He's moving around better. And that's a positive. But like, about the state of the program or whatever, I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. And
I'm open to interpretation. Like, I mean, somebody tell me why I should feel good about that, the thing that we're discussing today.
Also, what about what we do every single day makes a moron like that think like we don't want Sam Pittman to have success? John was crying tears of joy when they beat Tennessee. We love the football team. We went to Stillwater to go watch them. Like, we literally, like, we are begging for anything to feel good about, and we go over the moon celebrating anytime they have one minor win. Like, literally after the UAPB game, we're like, Taylor Green, look at him, man. It's just like, we're begging. Like, what makes you think we seriously don't want Like, you think we're just only haters of football and we just love basketball and baseball? Or do basketball and baseball just have a lot of success that we celebrate and football doesn't?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that parking garage, man, between me crying tears of joy and getting drinks spilled on me, and there's a lot that happened in that stupid parking garage. Can't wait to experience it again this year.
It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. But no, it's like I've tried to tell people this, and it's up to them if they believe me or not, but I'm serious. It's like, would I rather Sam Pittman go 4-8 and get fired, or Sam Pittman go 8-4 and keep his job? I'd rather him go 8-4 and keep his job.
1,000%.
Because I want them to win. Like, that's like, some people just want him. I'm not saying all fans, but some fans just like are rooting for bad so that way they can move on from Sam Pittman. I'm not that way. I would rather him go 8-4 and keep his job than him go 4-8 and get fired. 100% all day, because I'm not going to root against the Razorbacks to suck just because I don't like the head coach. Like, I'm just not going to do that. So,
dude, I cheered for Chad Morris to beat Western Kentucky. I wanted Arkansas to win that game. I wanted Chad Morris to win every game he coached. I'm never going to cheer against Arkansas. And you're right. If Arkansas win 8-4, dude, I would be over the moon. Yeah. I would come on this show and I would sit here on my knees and bow to Sam Pittman and be like, wow, you pulled off. Man, this is awesome. It's crazy. And it would be the most fun football season we've had in a long time.
Yep. Everybody wants, the Razorback football program to be really, really good. And when you're just trying to find anything to cling to get excited about it and believe in it, it's hard to get bought in on what comes across as a defeatist kind of mentality. I mean, sorry.
Yep. I mean, guys, I just, everybody go ahead and start screen recording this. Go ahead and make note of this, because I'm about to say something crazy. But I actually really liked, comparatively speaking to where it is now, the Houston Nutt effect of how he always was energized and fired up. And, even though I don't like the man at all, you at least felt like the energy was always there and he was excited. And he was like, that's like something as simple as that makes a difference. It does.
A lot of times when you change coaches, like administrations who are doing the hiring will bring in the exact opposite type of person, the exact opposite type of personality, because you've kind of soured or got worn down on one specific thing. So it would be natural, John, to feel that way, because that portrayal, that message delivery, that energy, it's completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm glad you're coming along.
If Sam Pittman just took notes from Houston Nutt, he'd be in a better spot. But to your point, though, I remember the first game Sam Pittman coached at Arkansas was against Georgia. And we remember it was a big thing, COVID year, and Georgia was coming off a great year. Of course, it was his former team. And I remember Arkansas played him really tough in the first half and then kind of ran out of gas and lost that game. But I remember Sam Pittman in the post-game press conference was like, dude, I really thought this is a classic. I thought we were going to win. He was like, dude, he's like, I believed it. Everyone in our locker room, like, we believe we were going to go out there and beat Georgia today. We didn't, and that sucks. And now we're going to move on and figure it out. But like, I remember him saying stuff like that, where he was like, dude, I think we can beat anybody. I think we're dangerous. I think we got a great football team. He felt that way about the Arkansas football program at one point. He does not feel that way today. And it's very clear with everything that he says. He no longer believes he can beat the best teams at Arkansas.
And for the record, like, some things should just go unsaid, but they can't for whatever reason. I do know that Sam Pittman cares, and I do know that he wants to win. I do know he's frustrated with how things have been going. I understand every single one of those things. Our message is and has been that the messaging from, that program and the administration, everything else, is what needs a freaking tune-up.
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm at. That's all.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you. 100% with you. I mean, come on. You can't get the way of how it's always been expressed is, you hear that? There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there's only one Razorback. Turn them loose. Like, again, it was energy. It was dumb at times, the stuff he said, like when he says, if you get hit, just you get up and smile and say, I'll see you in 25 seconds. I'll see you in 25 seconds. Okay, that was pretty dumb, but the energy was there and the excitement was there. And I gave him credit for that. So
lock the damn gates, bring it back.
Yeah.
Do that. Head coaches, Sam Pittman, Houston Nutt.
I just stop. Bring back the Burger King crown. Remember when we put that on? Yes, sir. You did that. Like, do the fun stuff.
Where did the catchphrases go? Where'd they go?
Yeah. Burger says HDN is the second best coach we've had since joining the SEC. Oh, well, that's saying a lot.
I tell you.
Jeez, it's not like Arkansas has just been putting out bangers of seasons, all SEC spots. So I'll tell you what, that'll put us into, we'll get to more of your chats, folks. But part of our Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by our friends over at Alumni Hall, where they are all about the Razorbacks and all about the Razorback apparel, the best around you'll ever get. And they have plenty of it, whether it's in-store 3417 North College Avenue, or if you end up shopping them online at insidearkansas.com/alumni hall, you'll be able to see all the great apparel that they have for men, women, kids, the high-end stuff. Check them out and use that promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. Just how many wins? How many wins would it take for you to call the Razorback football season a successful year? Not like, oh, greatest year ever, anything like that. Just if someone was to say, hey, what would make you call and consider the 2025 year a successful season? Would it take 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, or 9 or more? Because anyone that says 5 wins or less that's not success. And yeah, anyways, it doesn't matter. But still, 8 wins leading the way, not surprising. 53% of you say 8 wins would be a successful season, where 26% of you say 7 wins would be a successful season. So doing the little mathematical stuff, 80% of you roughly are saying 7 to 8 wins. You'd call it a successful year. Regular season, by the way, right? Not including bowl games.
I was about to ask. I was going to say you might have said it, and I was just spaced out for a second. Yeah, regular season. I think I would say 7. Personally,
yeah, I would.
And I mean, and I get it with the schedule too. Like, I mean, if they won 6 games and got to a bowl with this schedule, with that roster, it wouldn't be a bad year. I'm just saying. But I just think given where you're at and given where the fan base is at and just the pulse of the whole situation here, you gotta at least one up it. It doesn't matter who you're playing, in my opinion. So I think 7 regular season with a shot for 8, and I'd be like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I think 6 wins would be in that weird range where, like, would we like throw a tantrum? Would we like storm the university? Probably not. I don't think fans would be thrilled about that. I mean, they just went 6-6 and fans aren't thrilled. I would be, me personally, just based on the roster and where they stand in the SEC, how much better everyone else is, and the schedule. I'd be impressed by a 6-win season, 6-6. Like if Arkansas wins 6-6, honestly, 7 is what I would call a successful season for all those same reasons, Curtis. You could sell me on the idea of, one, hey, we've got some great stability with this program. We've had one bad year in 5 years or whatever where we didn't make a bowl game, but like we're competing. We're going to a bowl every year. We're competitive. We also took a little bit minuscule step forward. You could kind of sell me on, hey, we can use this to build, and maybe now we'll be able to compete better in the offseason, blah, blah, blah. Would I actually believe that? I don't know, but I could at least buy that. And it comes back to messaging. I think Arkansas could use their messaging from a 7-5 season and do pretty well, actually. And then I'd be excited for that offseason to see what they could do and how they could build. And also, I would have eaten a lot of crow in the process. If Arkansas went 7-5, I'd be like, wow, okay, like that, pretty good. Right. Everyone that says it's got to be minimum 8 wins for them to be happy, listen, y'all can set that expectation if y'all want, and then we will hold you to it in the offseason or in the season. Like we'll see if y'all still feel that way.
And it's not us accepting mediocrity either. It's just kind of, I mean, we all want more. We all expect more. More should be the standard. But it takes time to get to more. And it's probably going to take regime change to get to more. And given, again, like I just look at the roster and where they're at, and I look at the schedule, and I'm just being realistic here. If they got to 7, I'd be like, damn, well done, boys. If they got to 6, I'd be like, well,
if they went to 7,
I didn't necessarily know you were going to do that either.
I would salute the program, bro. I'd be very impressed by a 7-5 season, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, if they got to a bowl game, no matter what, like, I guess if you went 5-7 and you had good APR or whatever the thing is that you can get in, it gives you a chance to go 5-8, which is great. But yeah, like I would be impressed, as you guys said. Man, if they went 8-4, dude, yeah, Pittman, awesome job. You deserve to coach another 2 years after that. Like if you go 8-4 with this schedule, with this roster, shout it out, man. Like you deserve that. So anyways, all right. So we'll, I think again, football's been on the forefront of a lot of people's minds and everything. So, which is exciting because, football will be here before we know it. But I did want to give a shout out though, to one of our newest sponsors here on Inside Arkansas, which we're really excited about. And it is our friends over at Radiant Elements Medical Spa. There's no doubt that, hey, you do tough workouts. A lot of you former athletes listen to us because you're ball knowers. And as you know, we're ball knowers, so you like to listen to us. But listen, it deserves a tough recovery after those tough workouts that you have. And their deep tissue sports massage and infrared sauna that they have over there helps you bounce back faster, hit the weights harder, and stay in the game. And some of you may feel like the self-care part of it makes you soft. Well, self-care isn't soft. It's what the winners do. And then for you guys wondering what to give to your special someone, hey, that special occasion, Radiant Elements Medical Spa can have all different types of services that can make it best for the gift ever that you'll never be in the doghouse again, at least for a certain period of time. But either way, check them out in the Weddington Plaza right next to Lions Mane, or you can book an appointment online with that QR code up in the top right. When you book with that QR code, you'll get 15% off your very first service. Great people, great massage, one of the best massages I know I've ever had. We're excited about them partnering with us, not only here on Inside Arkansas Live, but also on the bombastic postseason. It's Radiant Elements Medical Spa. Self-care is for everyone. So really excited about them and wanted to pass that along. If you guys are feeling a little bit of intense out there in the chat about this football discussion, well, calm yourself down and get relaxed with a nice little massage there. Okay, a couple of things, because I know we've talked football, but on other side of it too, we got some basketball questions. This comes from Madison. Yeah, it's like he says, if Adou did return to Arkansas, what do you think the rotation would look like, especially with TB and most importantly, with Trevin's feelings get hurt?
That's Trevin's feelings are apparently the number one priority to preserve for this staff. I think it would look a lot like last year. Honestly, the rotation. I mean, you'd be up to 9 guys, and you'd have a couple freshmen there that you're relying on, and you wouldn't have necessarily log jams anywhere. You'd have 3 guards for 2 spots they could rotate through. You'd have Karter and Billy there on the wings, and you'd have Adou and Trevin at the 4. Nick and Malik Ewan there at center. I think all of them would play. There would be one guy that would probably get less minutes than he wanted to. I think last year at the beginning of the year, that was Billy, and it took him a while. And there were times where Karter barely played as he was trying to figure some stuff out. But they were still able to get through that because they believe it or not, dealt with some injuries and were able to kind of make it through. But I think it would look about the same. Somebody in there might be a little bit pissed off because they weren't playing 30 minutes, but everybody would have a role.
Also, too, another question here. It says from Maddie T. Curtis, has anything else come about Thiero coming back since Norlander's comments?
Was it Borzello? Is that who it was? Jeff Borzello at ESPN. There was a write-up there about Karter Knox, actually, and then it was it got into Adou Thiero and just basically said that it raised a lot of eyebrows when he said what he said at the combine, which we've talked about him saying the door's not all the way closed. It's kind of closed. I might have closed it. My people haven't closed it, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think the thought process here is still the same with Adou. Has the ability to return to Arkansas. They would welcome him with open arms, but they're not expecting him back because he doesn't want to come back. And it's not personal to Arkansas. He's all in on trying to get drafted and, start his NBA career. But he's not going to do it if he doesn't get the assurances or the guarantees or the draft slot that he's really looking for there. And whether he has that now or not, or if he's still trying to work his way to that, is what's really up for debate. So you can put whatever percentage you want to on it. I'd still would be pretty surprised if Adou wound up back at Arkansas, especially when his heart seems to be pretty set on going to the draft. But hey, if he's not where he wants to be at the end of the day and thinks he can come back and improve his stock or make a bunch of money, the option is there for him to do that.
I thought it was very interesting that Borzello referenced that quote, and he was like, yeah, it raised some eyebrows. I'm like, did it raise eyebrows? Because we talked about that quote multiple times on the show, and we were like, didn't necessarily sound like a guy dying to come back to play college basketball. Obviously, he didn't say the door was completely shut, but it was like, that seemed like that didn't seem like the comment. So I'm like, I'm hoping that he's pointing to something else that is indicating that is raising eyebrows. Maybe there was another quote that we missed, but no, I'm with you, Curtis. I wanted to ask about the rotation real quick because we were just talking about that. Do you think there's something to the idea that, obviously Cal plays a lot of freshmen and brings in high-level freshmen that play right away? Do you think there is something to, some of those veterans on the team kind of just having those, they kind of have the freshmen have to take it from those guys? There's a little bit of to start the season, you kind of ease those freshmen in. And of course, we all know Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas are going to play big minutes down the stretch. But is there something to kind of doing that song and dance so that you keep the veterans happy, and then you kind of, as the season goes along, you maybe peel it back and can really make some of those decisions?
Well, if they don't add players to this team, they're going to have to throw all those guys to the fire. Like there's nowhere else to turn. You know what I mean? Like there wouldn't be, an Adou Thiero who's super versatile that you could turn to. There wouldn't be a Nelly Davis to go along with the DJ Wagner there in the backcourt. Like, I mean, the way I look at it, and it's kind of the theme of my pot at the Palace this morning, is like Acuff and Thomas, they got to be ready. They got to be ready to go, man, right out of the gates. And at least one of them needs to pop off like some of these Cal guards in the past have. They both need to be better than the freshmen that they had this year. Now, I don't think it's one of those situations where, Cal's relying, he's overly relying on freshmen or whatever. No, it's just a couple of them here. And you got a lot of veterans there to kind of help them along the way. But the growing pains are going to have to happen on the floor. I don't see a scenario with the roster as currently constructed where, Acuff's not playing 30 plus minutes for you per game. And Malik Thomas is, at worst, your sixth man. I don't know how they would do it.
And I guess in the context of Trevin, there's not really, I mean, obviously Isaiah Seeley maybe is in that, but it's like, there's not really a guy I think honestly, if Adou Thiero came back, I think the guy who would be the most effective would be Nick Pringle. I think your use for Nick Pringle would drop to a little bit close to zero if Adou Thiero were on the roster. And then if you think about it with Ewan, Brazil, Thiero, and Pringle, if you're cutting one of those guys out, you're probably cutting Pringle, right?
Probably so. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know what we'll have some heavy hitters to get into here in a second as well. But, we need to look at some baseball stuff. So we'll do that as part of our What to Watch presented by Bryant Technologies, where they're dedicated to delivering that high-quality network infrastructure and security camera solutions, where they take pride in their exceptional workmanship and commitment to keeping your business operations seamlessly connected and secure. Whether it's structured cabling, security camera installation, digital signage, or TV mounting, Bryant Technologies has you covered. They service the entire state of Arkansas as well as the bordering states of Arkansas. So have them help you with all of your network and security needs. Give them a call today at 870-883-0330. Or you can check out their website at bryantstechnologies.com. That's Bryant's with that S in between. Bryantstechnologies.com. It's Bryant Technologies, quality work guaranteed. So Razorback baseball will not be playing until tomorrow, and they will be facing the Ole Miss Rebels. And also, Zach Root was officially named the starting pitcher for the Razorbacks in that one. How about that? Arkansas softball and Arkansas baseball both playing Ole Miss tomorrow. Pretty cool. Hopefully it goes well for them. But either way, Andrew, surprised it's Root or about on par for that's Root?
No, I mean, I figured Root and Wood would each, throw, like ideally you play 2 games or, 2 or 3. I figured Root would throw at some point. And the only thing that I'm kind of wondering is, do they plan on starting Root game 1 next week? Like in the regional, you're going to be a host, you're going to be a 1 seed. Me personally, if Dave, I said this on the show the other day, if Dave called me and asked me what to do, I said I would start Aiden Jimenez in game 3. He wound up doing that. If Dave called me and asked what he should have done, I would have thrown Gage Wood first, because I'm going to throw Gage Wood in game 1 next week against the 4 seed. Maybe they're not planning on doing that. I don't really know. But I do think that's going to be interesting. I didn't listen. Obviously, the press conference happened 30 minutes ago, so we were doing this show and yelling about Sam Pittman then. I'd be interested to see what the pitch count is. I think there's a chance that they only throw Root 50, 60 pitches, and they only throw Wood 50, 60 pitches, in which case it doesn't really matter how many days rest, because they're not really, they didn't throw enough for it to really matter. So we'll see how that works. If Arkansas gets behind and they end up being behind, maybe they'll end up just throwing Wood in that game. But in terms of Zach Root, I think this is interesting because Ole Miss absolutely pushed his shit in back in March whenever he faced them. He gave up 7 runs on 10 hits. I think he was tipping pitches that day. This is an opportunity for Root to kind of show Arkansas fans, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy anymore. You can count on me.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, of course, we'll know what Arkansas has to play as far as the regional goes. Guess what is it? Sunday night gets announced the seeding of the national seeds.
They announce the host sites. They don't announce the seeding of it, but they just announce which sites will be hosts. So on Sunday, we'll get a tweet that says, hey, there is a Fayetteville regional, and we'll say, yeah. And then the next day we'll find out. They might even, I can't remember if they announce national seeds that night. I think it's not till the next day.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that sounds right. Also, we need a vibe check on our friend Quinn because Texas A&M is beating Auburn right now 3-1 at the top of the 7th inning. So,
All right. Hey, Texas A&M might be who Arkansas plays in game 2.
Texas A&M is going to win the stupid SEC tournament.
And the Laviolette dude got hit in the hand with a fastball and came out of the game.
Oh, wow. That's big.
So Auburn takes out their best player, and they're still going to lose. It's crazy.
Man.
You could beat us, but you ain't making that damn tourney.
But from yesterday too, the scores for the SEC tournament. Let's see. You had Ole Miss, of course, beat Florida 3-1, and then Oklahoma beat Georgia. How about that? 3-2 in that one, and then Tennessee. It was a lot more of a higher, I guess, a beat down than what the final score showed. It was 15-10, but Tennessee, I think, was up like 15-6 at one point in time. But either way, Tennessee loves those high scoring affairs. Apparently can do a lot of offense, but can't do much defense. So today you'll have, of course, as the game's going on with Texas A&M Auburn, you'll have Tennessee and Texas happening today at 3:00 reportedly, and then you'll have Oklahoma Vanderbilt tonight at 6:30, and then those will be the games for today. And then tomorrow will be Ole Miss and Arkansas, and then LSU facing the winner of A&M and Auburn. So let's see. Shout out to Sharkansaw for the super chat. Appreciate you, man. He goes, keep up the good work, gents. Sub and like the stream, chat. That is all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Sharkansaw.
Yeah. Absolutely do that. Also, too, I can't remember if I mentioned this. Monday, once again, for Selection Monday, we're going to call it, that for whenever the Razorbacks get announced and all that, we're going to go live early on that day, around 10:45, 10:50. The selection show's at 11 a.m. We'll go live through that. Then we'll go right into Inside Arkansas Live. So it'll be a little bit different. I know Memorial Day is on Monday, too, so that also throws a different vibe, and a lot of people are going to be out probably doing a lot more fun things than watching the Selection Monday show. But that's what we're here for, because we're going to do it for you.
If you're out on the boat, just pull up the stream,
That's right.
I'm going to have a different camp because, if we're going to be, looking the part, I'm going to have a completely different setup, different angle. I got plans.
Mm-hmm.
Since we can't be together, I'm going to be different.
Yeah. No, there's a very good chance that Monday's show live stream could be a unique one, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
A very good chance of it. So but just know that we're going to be dressed to impress, thanks to Trevero Clothing. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. But let's see. Also, some. I wanted to bring this up before I forget, from Sweet Arkansas gal. She just want to know, Curtis, did you ever go to Tamale Factory when you lived in McCrory?
Yeah, I did. That was a little after my time. I don't remember that much about it because they maybe it wasn't Tamale Factory. We had a Mexican restaurant that ran in and out downtown a couple times. I can't remember if it was that one or not. So I can't say for sure.
Feel like,
but if it's the one I think it is, then yes.
Is that like I don't know. I'm weird. This is how I'm weird. But if there's some sort of restaurant that has the word factory in it, I immediately want to try it. Like the Cheesecake Factory, of course. But it's like if it's a tamale factory, I'm like, wow, okay, that probably has some really good tamales. Even if they don't, I'm going to think they do walking into it.
Because when I was in high school, there was Sonic, Subway, Pizza Plus, which is good pizza, and then this random steakhouse that was right by the laundromat, and nothing else. But then after I went to college and everything, they added a pretty solid barbecue restaurant, and they've had this Mexican place that's been running in and out at different times. We did have a catfish place too that was open for lunches or weekend dinners only. So,
all right. Well, when we go on our tour day state of Arkansas at some point in time here on Inside Arkansas, we're going to have to go to the old stomping grounds of McCrory.
Go to Pizza Plus for sure.
Yeah. Do a show from Pizza Plus. Hopefully they got some solid internet. Could be the only one way to find out. So, all right, we'll have more of your chats, folks. We'll get into that, but we also, of course, got to get into who our heavy hitters are, presented by our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction. The amount of people that reached out and said that they've used HD Roofing to help them out when it came to all the storms and the tornadoes and everything has been awesome. And I know they've been very appreciative of it. They've been busy. Our guy Garrett's been crazy busy checking out everybody's roof and everything. So really appreciate them and being on call and One of the things that they didn't say this, I'm saying it to everybody. If you have them checking out your roofs and everything, just remember to remain patient, because everybody's got it dealing on with. So, but they're on top of it, man. They're getting it done, and they're going to have you all set up. So when those storms hit and they're all unexpected, be sure to choose HD Roofing, because you rely on that professionalism, top quality materials, expert installation, everything for all of your roofing needs. They are the ones to do it here in Arkansas. You can call them at 501-428-0429, or you can check out their website at hdarkansas.com. All right. So for heavy hitters today, I got two, and I'll start with the Arkansas related one, because let's be honest, that's what people really want to know about. Shout out to our guy, Coach Cal. Just this. I mean, come on, man. Another flex, hanging out, courtside of the Knicks game last night, which ended up being an insane game, to say the least. But I don't know, guys. Can you help me make out who that is? I see Patrick Ewing. I've heard of him. Let's see. Is that a J.R. Smith? Yeah, I think that's J.R. Smith. Yeah. Just a few faces in the crowd, if you will, hanging out with John Calipari. And it just really shows that his Cal's not a short guy, but there's a lot of tall guys there. Man,
basketball coach probs, man.
What's that?
It's basketball coach probs right there. You cannot be a short guy, but everyone that you're around is taller than you.
Yeah. I will ask, and I probably should know this. The guy that's looking away in the hat that you can't see his face because J.R. Smith's head's in front of him. Who is that? You guys know? Have any idea? I was trying to make out of it.
I can't see the photo well enough. Like I can't really tell.
See, I couldn't either, but I don't know. I was just like, oh, Carmelo Anthony. I don't know if it's Carmelo Anthony, but I was just thinking. So either way, I love the flexing Cal does, dude. It's awesome. Mark Pope's over there talking about like, oh, the Kentucky weighing fans. This dude's over here at the Garden, hanging out in a playoff game with ballers.
He's over there giving sculptures to KSR. And
you know what? If Cal ever gave up a sculpture, I might say, Cal, no, thank you. We don't need this. Just give us some wins.
I would embrace it non-humbly, just like they did.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I would tell them to kick rocks. I think I would accept the sculpture.
No, I'd accept it. I should say that. I'd accept it, but at the same time, I don't know if I would like promote it. Like just be like, hey, Cal gave us this sculpture. Actually, I absolutely would. I can't. I'm lying over
here. If he told us how important we were, how critical we were to the fabric of Arkansas. Yeah,
man, wouldn't that be nice to hear from just somebody at some point? Man, that'd be great. But
yeah, we're gonna be waiting for a while for that one.
Yeah, I'd say we're gonna be dead by that point in time. Either way, my heavy hitter, Coach Cal, man, always with the best flexing on social media.
Yeah. Dang it, Coach Cal was definitely mine too, but for that reason and others. So I'm gonna double down here. That was awesome. It cracks me up how we're all, just like worried about like Knox and Adou, and are they going to add somebody else or whatever? He ain't worried about the roster. He's Mr. Worldwide right now. He's flexing in the suites at the Yankees games. He's courtside at Madison Square Garden watching his boy Karl Anthony Towns miss potential game tying threes at the end of overtime. And then, he can just throw out a tweet and it's like, hey, major congrats to my former player who has now been named the best player in the world as MVP. I'll get out there in a couple days and see him. Don't you worry. And then also the pro Hogs that are going to be out there. He does though, man. He just does that. He's still got that aura about him. The ultimate flex. I can't wait until he's down there in Oklahoma City and, posting there. He'll probably take a picture with Anthony Edwards too and be like, this idiot went to Georgia. Should have played for me. And he would have won MVP instead of the guy that's kicking his ass right now. It's crazy how he's able to do this, but I like it. Eric Musselman used to do that. He would go all over the place and take pictures with, whatever coach or like whatever team he's visiting. But Cal does it. It's just like, here is a, guy who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars and is a multi-time NBA All-Star and an MVP because of me. So just saying, just out here supporting him. Love my guys. No big deal. It's just, it's pretty cool, man.
I like that. So y'all went with the current Razorback head coach as y'all's heavy hitter. And I think I'm going to go with the future Razorback head coach as my heavy hitter. Tony Vitello. We talk about him a lot. We talked about Tennessee a lot. You referenced their 15-10 win yesterday. Tennessee's second baseman, Dean Curley, who has moved over from shortstop, because they brought in Gavin Keelan from Louisville, who's one of the best shortstops in the country. So they've had Dean Curley at second base, and to say that he has the yips right now would maybe be an understatement. He made at least 2 really bad errors against Arkansas. He made a horrible error yesterday that cost them a couple runs, and it was a bad one. The first baseman wasn't even on the bag, and he's throwing it by him. Tony Vitello was asked about it, and he was like, "Hey, are you okay with this horrible defense that you're getting from your second baseman?" And Tony V did what a lot of coaches I feel like wouldn't do. He stood up for his guy a little bit, man, and I appreciated that. Of course, Dean Curley sucks at second base, but he's also hitting over 300.
He's hitting over 300. He sucks at second base.
Tony V took up for him.
Next head coach.
Are y'all hearing me right now?
We got you now.
You can continue.
Yeah, he was a starter on the national championship team. He's a key hitter for him. Coach, we always do this in baseball where a guy sucks or he does something bad and we're like, we'll just bench him. And everybody in Tennessee is on Tony V's ass. Why are you not benching Dean Curley? When really it's like, I don't really think that's a realistic thing that's going to happen right now. But Tony V was asked about it and he was like, look, it was an odd play. Should it happen? No. But again, these dudes will make mistakes. And if I'm not mistaken, he had a pretty big knock for us later in the game too. I'm plenty good with it. Ride or die for anything on or off the field with that guy. Obviously, I owe a lot. You can talk about wallet. You can talk about all kinds of stuff. When you do mess up, whether it's him or anyone else, you can't pout. You can't wear it on your sleeve. If anything, you relax and just play. Maybe it adds to the determination you've got. He's got a guy that's going through a little bit of a struggle, and he's sticking with him. And honestly, at this time of the year in baseball, it's kind of what you have to do. Like if Zach Root sucks tomorrow, what are we going to do? Be like, all right, we're just not pitching Zach Root in the regional. No, you have your guy. This is the guy you brought in for this. He's got to go out there and do the job. We'll see if he does it in the postseason. And I love when coaches stick up for their guys and don't make excuses and don't throw their dudes under the bus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that if Zach Root sucks tomorrow, then Arkansas fans are going to want him to go the ways of old Yeller. Just take him out and shoot him. So hopefully
that's always the solution in baseball. Just bench him.
It's true. That's true. Because you always just got pitchers out the wazoo just hanging out. So, but yeah, that's a good one. And a real quick one too. Again, back to that Knicks Pacers game last night. Aaron Nesmith, dude, that was one of the most incredible comebacks I've ever seen in my life. Like, and I'm not trying to be over exaggerating. Like, that was insane. That was insane. And it's the Pacers every time. There's just something about him. A lot of times I'm like, oh, because what was it? The Knicks were up by 9 points with 35 seconds to go. And they lost in overtime. It was inches away from losing in regulation with just insane. So yeah, this guy, Aaron Nesmith, was it Vanderbilt? Is that where he played?
He's at Vanderbilt.
Vandy's
one of many NBA players that didn't win shit at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, like goes 8 of 9 from 3. Like, it was an incredible ending and performance. And to see that type of game happen, and then not only to hit the game winner for Halliburton, but to jump, the ball bounces up in the air and then comes straight down. Like, how often do you see that happen? And it was, again, inches away from, he did the Reggie Miller choke over to Reggie Miller. Would have been cooler if they won on that. But either way, that was just, I know a lot of people don't like the NBA. That was an incredible game. And I had so much fun watching it. One of the best games I've seen in a while. So shout out to them.
Major collapse there by the Knicks, man. That was nuts. It was so funny. I don't do this because I hate people that ignore timestamps, but I love seeing everybody retweeting the takes when the Knicks were up by 1 million at different points in that game. And yeah, this is just a different level for the Pacers here. They weren't ready for this. This ain't whoever the hell, this ain't Cleveland, man. Or you were seeing a bunch of that, and then everybody's just quote tweeting with the update. Yeah. And I don't blame him, man. It's crazy. And gosh, man, we still have Halliburton haters in this very chat. What does that man have to do? What does he have to do to earn your respect, David? I need to know.
You want to talk about doing the update thing? Imagine if the Pacers had lost in overtime, because Halliburton's doing this crap like in regulation. You know what I mean? Like it could have blown up in his face. Of course, they ended up winning. Also, I got to be honest, I kind of feel bad for the Knicks. Obviously, you blow a huge lead, tough. It's not like the Knicks didn't score 130 points. You know what I mean? Like they scored. The shot making in that game last night was unreal. I think the two teams started a combined like 12 for 12, and these are like tough contested shots. Like there was just a lot of high level ball happening, man. It was impressive, and the Knicks were on the tough end of it in front of a loaded crowd.
Imagine being Jalen Brunson, getting 43 points on 15 of 25 from the field with 5 assists and losing. You know,
And an
or
air
Karl
ball
Anthony Towns.
at the end.
Yeah, the former pro hog. The 35 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block shot, 1 turnover.
And a missed wide open 3 at the end of
That was bad.
overtime.
That was rough.
Some folks have the clutch gene, and some, it's,
Yeah. Well, here's the deal.
Brunson's got it in him though.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's got the clutch gene.
I'll say this: I don't care one way or the other that much, but I've always had fun rooting against the Knicks because I don't know, there's just something fun about it. And ever since I went to Indianapolis for the tournament, I've always been like I like the Pacers. I would root for them because those fans are really nice and really cool and love.
Oh, by the way, Jim Irsay, R.I.P. Jim Irsay, freaking legend. I think that also gave the Pacers a little bit of a push last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very possible. Very possible. They needed all of it. They needed every single bit that they could have. But what is it now? 3 games this year in the playoffs that the Pacers have come from behind like crazy. Like at some point in time, it's like, the Knicks choked it away. But at some point in time, it's like maybe there's just something about the team if they're doing it 3 times in the same playoffs where they're just never say die.
There was a play early in that game, and weirdly enough, I watched more of this game than I probably should have. There was a play early in that game where there was a dead ball turnover on the other side of the court, and the Pacers inbounded the ball and got it up and shot a 3 in 2 seconds. Yeah. The pace the pace that the Pacers play at, it's unreal, dude. And it's got to be exhausting to play against them, even if you do get up big. That's a lot that they put on somebody, and credit to them, man. I did not think the Pacers had a chance.
No, I didn't either. We'll get into our final segment, get to your chats and a lot more presented by our friends over at BetSaracen, the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas. Not even close. You can get in on all the NBA playoff action, get in on the softball action, Razorback baseball, SEC tournament action, all that stuff. Get to winning with parlays, lines, spreads, specials, everything that they could possibly have. Do it with the BetSaracen app. You can download it on your iPhone or on your Android, or you can also go to BetSaracen.com. Get it going that way too. Real quick, guys, if you want to call it breaking news, it's something that is good. And I think we all agree that college football playoff leaders have unanimously approved of straight seeding for the upcoming season's college football playoffs. Thank you. See, I love to hate on NCAA or playoff thing and all that. This is when I'm like, good job. You didn't think too much about it. You're like, hey, this sucked. Doesn't need to happen again. Changed. Thank you. Yeah. And so that is such a great thing for the playoff because it made no sense as why it wasn't that. But seeing the disaster last year, it's good to see that they fixed it.
No, that's it's well done, man. It's well done for sure. I'm so happy they're doing that. Did I read correctly though that is it going to be the same this year, or are they changing it immediately?
Oh, I just thought it was immediately, but I guess.
Okay. No, I read it wrong. I was reading Brett McMurphy's thing. Yeah, he says huge news: 2025 college football playoff changes straight seeding. Good. He was saying this will be the final year of the 12-team playoff, with 2026 playoff expanding to 14 or 16 teams. So there's that, but they are making that seeding change in me. Okay, good, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Every day we strive closer and closer to Arkansas Razorbacks college football playoff.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you could just do a Matt Rules thing and just put 40 teams. Put 40 teams in there. Yeah. Why not? Sure. But no, I'm just glad because it seemed like one of those things where I didn't understand why they did it in the first place. I'm like, nobody else does that. Like, look at college basketball. You have automatic qualifiers, but they don't be like, all right, well, the SEC, you get the 1 seed, and this, like, no, it's take all the teams and put them in the way you think. That's the way it should be done.
It also gives the committee more room to kind of finagle it the way they need. Because a lot of times, like, you think about it, you have 2 teams that play in the title game. And so you might have the worst conference champion as number 4, and then they're set up right there to play number 5, the best non-conference champion that they just beat. It gives the committee more freedom to seed it in a way that makes the most sense, where you don't have rematches, you don't have weird situations going on. They can kind of do what they need to do.
Yeah, I'm again, I know that there's be more things that they'll probably need to work on and fix, but they got it right. So good deal. Good for them. Good for them for making that happen. Also, to a few of your chats, somebody asked this. Oh yeah, Zach really just said, will we ever get to 4 quarters in college basketball, man?
Well, it's on the table. Like it's one of the proposals that went down that they're going to wind up discussing and voting on. It wouldn't go into effect next year if it went through, but that's one of them. Going to 4 quarters. What else was on there? Coaching reviews. They were looking to add that potentially. Changing the rules for kicking somebody in the balls. Literally, it's something they're talking about because right now it's either common foul or ejection. Flagrant 2. Like there's no in between. And so now they're trying to change it to where you can do a flagrant 1 there, which I appreciate. If you guys remember JT Toppin, we all remember him from Texas Tech, but they were on the road at Houston and he was like caught in a trap against the press and he tried to turn and make a skip pass and his feet flailed out from under him and he kicked a guy in the balls like early in that game. He wound up getting ejected there in Houston. Grant McCaslin got pissed. He got ejected. They wound up beating Houston anyway on the road. It was crazy, but yeah, fixing that rule to where you can just give somebody kind of a standard technical for it. Gosh, man, I'm trying to see. Those are the big 3. There was one more thing that was on the docket there, but I don't remember what it was.
Is it maybe 6 fouls? Are they going to go? Are they ever going to go to 6 fouls? Like for a foul out?
If they go to 4 quarters, I think.
Would it be the same as, I guess, like the women's game? Would it be like for bonuses and whatnot and the same setup?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because college basketball is the only thing in all of basketball. College NCAA basketball is the only one that does the 2 halves, just like how college football for so long was the only football league in America or anywhere that didn't have any type of playoff. And so it was like, I think it's going to be one of those things that we'll look back on and be like, dude, remember when college basketball just played 20-minute halves and nobody knew why?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know some people like our guy Logan says he's like passing on quarters and Bobby G says no to 4 quarters. I don't know why. I want 4 quarters because I like to have.
What I like about it is what I would ask.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it like has to happen and I'm going to be mad if it doesn't, but I'm like, what's the downside of 4 quarters?
Yes, just change, just change from what you're used to. It's just, I don't understand why it's been like that and why it's taken so long when literally
I'd rather 4 quarters than a TV timeout every 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to look up and be like, all right, so what, because then I get confused. I'm like, okay, so did that count as the media timeout or did that count as the timeout before the media timeout? And then they're going to take another, like after 5 seconds of action, take another timeout. It's just annoying. So Bobby G says longer game. I don't think it'll make it a longer game. I think it'll be about the same.
We've had a lot of 3.5 hour, we've had absurdly long college basketball games that had no business being that long lately. And like who knows how the media timeouts would all work and all that. Maybe the NCAA will not like that idea, but that is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not totally sure, but either way, I'd be in favor of it, at least if it ever got to that point. So, let's see. I think there was I was about to bring up some other rule that I was like to see fixed or changed in college sports, but now I can't remember. Oh, like I still feel like we can't figure out targeting. Remember when that was a thing forever? Like we could not figure out what targeting was and not, and it still seems like it's up in the air. I know college football has a lot going on. They have a lot on their plate right now, but those are the things that'll I'd like to see happen and like to see changed. And because at least they got to the point because when it first got announced, it's like, if you get targeting, you're ejected and it can't be reviewed. And then it's like, all right, well, if you have targeting and you get ejected, it can be reviewed, but then something else. Like it just seemed like it kept slowly and surely getting a little bit better. But
honestly, it's the same as the nut shot thing where you have to have a way where you're like, hey, that's a 15-yard penalty, but not an ejection.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy that targeting of all the changes we made, we have not gotten to that point. Y'all remember back in the day when they had the 5-yard face mask and the 15-yard face mask? Maybe that was a little bit weird, but like, it is crazy that it's like you're out for a game and maybe even the first half of the next game or nothing at all.
Yeah. I was trying to think too of another, stuff like that just never added up or never made sense. And well, I still laugh thinking about Hayden Henry, where he was targeting in the Alabama game at the end of 2020 in the second half. And then the next year had to sit out for the first half of the game in the season opener because of that. It's like, okay, we're doing too much here. This is stupid. It is so dumb. Like I just laugh about that. Imagine you're getting ready for fall whenever that hey, by the way, kid, you're still not going to play. You got to sit out a half for that thing that happened almost a year ago. Made no sense. So, anyways, let's see, man. I didn't realize so many people were very much keeping it in second halves. I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought we were all unanimous on that. I'm a little stunned by that.
Yeah, I am too. Let's see. Transplant Texan says Jeff Long addition to the college football playoff, trying to make up for the font and front facing hog. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Jeff Long's on the committee again for the deal there. But yeah, he's
gonna have to do a lot more than that, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see him pull that off to where he does us a solid in the college football playoff context.
Yeah. Speaking of that randomly, but you know what was also my favorite thing is everyone getting mad and blaming Jeff Long for going to Pepsi products. That is still one of my favorite things because if there was, and trust me, I'm no big Jeff Long defender in a lot of things, but that literally had nothing to do with him. It was the university in general, like the entire campus went to that. And everyone just blamed Jeff Long. It was like, you went to Pepsi. It's just like, he had no say on it. It's like front-facing hog, okay. Taking the slobber hog off of Bud Walton, okay. But literally could not have done anything with the Pepsi deal. So, which, man, yeah, there was a time, I always think back, there was a time where you could not drink alcohol in Razorback events, and you had Pepsi products, and that was your only option. Those were dark days. Dark days indeed. Let's see. Also, some of these chats I'm about to read one of them and I see what it's from and I'm like, absolutely not. Where was it at? It had to deal with it had something to deal. Oh, right here from Arkansas Pig Poner 69. Some of my heavy hitters, but he's like, for me, college football coaches doing the straight seating for the playoffs, that's going to make it a way better product. Because I was going back to that point about the college football playoff and the straight seating and everything. I'm wondering if it goes to 16 teams, which it seems like people are in favor of and everything. Like, are they going to make it to where they just take over more bowl games to do those additional games kind of thing? Or are they going to make it their own like deal? Like, how's that going to work?
I don't know. I'm going to read up on it whenever we finish up here. So I'm sure, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until Brandon Marcello puts out an article because he will have every bit of information that I seek. He's good for it, man. And there's other really good, reporters out there and everything. But if you want to guarantee that every one of your questions is answered, wait until he puts it out. So I'm gonna check it out because I wonder about that too. Like,
yeah,
what would you take away?
I see. Like, I think what they've done in past years or like these last few years is you have like a Sugar Bowl that's a playoff game, but you still have a Sugar Bowl. Mm-hmm. I feel like you should just like make those games the playoff games. Like, I don't think if you're outside of the top 16, you should be playing in the Rose Bowl. You know what I mean? It's like, I think if you're outside of the top 16, you should go to the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Like, that's fair. So I think all those cool bowl games should just be the playoffs.
I would definitely, if you're adding one, the Pop-Tart Bowl. Just my personal preference, Yep.
Or would you make the Pop-Tart Bowl the best possible non-playoff bowl?
Maybe that. Yeah, it's got to get some kind of spotlight, even more so than it has right now. It's a big deal.
Yes, because I feel like, and nothing against the Pop-Tart Bowl, Pop-Tart Bowl belongs with two teams that aren't like taking it so super serious, or they can have some fun with it, because we're not playing for anything. We just got some backups in here. Let's get crazy. Like, that's the type of thing. But the ones that take themselves super serial, like the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl and things like that, then I'm all for that.
It should be an annual game between the two first teams out of the college football playoff, because they're going to be so pissed that they're not in there. They're going to feel screwed. And we're going to be like, and as your reward, you get to go here and watch this cult-like, weird ceremony of, Pop-Tarts being brought from the dead and then sacrificed and, eaten live. Like that's what you get for being left out.
Well, it's funny. Porkenstein here says bowls should try some banana ball tactics. I would say the Pop-Tart Bowl is close to that. It's not terribly far away from banana ball, honestly.
Yeah, I'd be for it. And hey, here's the thing. If one of the playoff games becomes the Liberty Bowl, I guarantee you Arkansas will be in it because they love themselves the Liberty Bowl.
Arkansas will find their way in the Liberty Bowl no matter what, even if it's the national title game.
That's right. Well, all right, guys. Any final thoughts before we roll out of here today?
No, I don't have any final thoughts either. We are 25 and a half hours from game day in or game time in Hoover, weather permitting. excited to watch that tomorrow. Excited to be back here and do Inside Arkansas live again tomorrow. Also excited to do the Bombastic podcast later today. Appreciate everybody.
Yep.
Also, we will not be talking about football tomorrow because we talked about it a lot today. Just want to
we got it all out of our system today.
Yeah, unless I see another article that makes me upset, then I may have to. But yes, but no, we really do though. We really appreciate all of you that jump in with us and through all of our agreements, disagreements, all that good stuff. We do appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching into everything that we do here at Arkansas Live. Got a lot of great things, especially with postseason and baseball. We're going to be on top of it all, and we're going to have some really cool stuff to announce as part of that. And just be sure to continue to tap in with us here at Inside Arkansas. Subscribe to our channel. You can check out our audio podcasts wherever they're found with Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, as well as the Bombastic podcast. You can also check us out on social media at Inside Arkansas and check out our website, insidearkansas.com, for all the latest, greatest, up-to-date information on all things Razorback. So that'll do it for us. Ranger Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.